Under Geneva's enveloping shadow, a human shock lies on the surface of the Earth. Inventiveness and an anticipated sign of destruction from the evil Hadron Collider. It is a manual of intelligent assessment, enabling researchers to investigate the overall subatomic and stimulating the revelation of God's mysterious molecule. A Hewlett back at this point, as Brian Cox, a well-known physicist, has, in the past, made a chilling announcement that caused waves of wonder to some point in theological history. Something focusing has been investigated at CERN that could have accomplished more than our primary understanding. Its objective for informative enlightenment sets us on a course of action, where we are bound by disaster as we enter the pit of this lucid conundrum. But sooner than we delve into this statement's details regarding the significant gas molecule, let's pedal back to the Huge Hadron Collider LHC, built using CERN, a 17-meter-wide ring of superconducting magnets and the field's most remarkable and generally absurdly strong molecule smasher. It keeps an eye on the top of human reasonability. Achieving the actuality of the situation is so strong that it can recapitulate the actual states of the creation of the universe to the world. Yet, if this building was intended to open the insider estimations of the universe, keep an eye out, for the path to CERN's situation is clearly more troubling. Laid out in 1954, CERN is one of the world's most important, well-known review organizations, with 23 member states and a tremendous, wide grouping of experts. Described as a center for joint effort and enhancements, the LHC is a central undertaking. Though it's only a component of a vast association of fuel pedals and spike, expect obviously not for horses or motors. This tune is for subatomic particles, and it's a race to become present. The LHC speeds up protons to nearly the speed of light, sending them on a misshapen course that mirrors the energy of the universe at the hour of the epic blast. The impacts create temperatures 1 million times hotter than the focal point of the sun, with a huge diameter variety of magnets. The protons are guided on their visit while the sun shines brightly. Structures protect the magnets at temperatures colder than space, containing 1,232 dipole magnets, which win over the quadrupole magnets and the shafts, which focus the bars earlier rather than a more noticeable type of influence. Magnets are utilized to press the particles close together to expand the potential effects of CERN's errand. Its influence is like finishing to 6mm needles, contained in such a way that they can form to the precision required. The advancement of the LHC's plan is unparalleled, a shock of arranging. It solidifies, too, alongside the same kind of support. A misrepresentation stowed away 574 feet underground, protected from the field's radiation. This underground overall edge framework is brought down to a temperature of -456 degrees Fahrenheit, chillier than the vacuum of space. This cool climate is crucial on its own to enable the superconducting magnets to work in the ideal way. 4 districts are targeted as LHC crash sites across the ring of the gas pedal, differently in relation to the areas of Atlas, CMS, ALICE, and LHCb. Each fills a unique need to look into distinct aspects of particle physics. Overall, they accomplish relatively great things. Cameras capture images of those impacts, and experts then clear out the junk, glancing through indications of the subtle Higgs boson, also proposed as the God particle, an extraordinary whimsy, signed to the fundamental plan of the universe, completing an incredible puzzle, one in which the parts are obscure and the image makes it difficult to discern. By concentrating on the microcosm, we gain bits of insight into the universe. Nevertheless, with each response comes yet another request, and with each revelation, another challenge. The LHC isn't merely an instrument. It is truly clever, a sign of human recreation and movement. It embodies our chosen venture for knowledge and our yearning to determine the fundamental forces. However, as we structure our universe and test the boundaries of our comprehension, We ought to also keep in mind the lesson and existential questions that arise. What are the risks of studying the neglected world? An undertaking for dominance might unexpectedly open powers we have zero control over, within the sacred passageways of CERN. Where human comprehension is constantly pushed, a revelation has arisen that sends a shiver through even the most coordinated scientists. Brian Cox, a former CERN scientist and a voice of expertise in the field of particle physics, has long made a declaration that is both captivating and shocking. Cox's words reverberate with a horrible possibility. The goal of the Large Hadron Collider is to recreate a miniature Big Bang. You heard that, right? A smaller version of the actual event that brought forth our universe. The physicist also wound up causing a perception of the outcomes of this goal, offering the LHC extraordinary capacity for creating new openings. This includes its potential to unlock the secrets of the Higgs boson and the assessment of dark matter, a substance that is a crucial component of the universe. Consider safeguarding that kind of appearance for your flow. Close to the capacity to identify a certifiable universe's substance, an enticing open door, yet one laden with danger. The smaller than anticipated Big Bang isn't merely a theoretical idea. Within the LHC, it is an incredible reality. The heat, the tension, and the raw energy recreate the states of the universe's fundamental steps. Like going back to the earliest significant moment of written history, seeing the advent of existence itself. However, such strength possesses genuine dedication, and the question addresses the limit of risk. Consider what happens if something goes gravely wrong. Back in 1978, the Russian physicist Anatoly Bogorsky encountered a catastrophe that would forever alter his life. At the U-70 synchrotron at the Institute for High Energy Physics in Protino, Russia, a breakdown sparked an incident. His head entered the path of a proton beam, which went through his skull, entering the back of his head and exiting through his nose. Bogorsky's experience was remarkable. He noticed a flash brighter than 1,000 suns, yet he had no immediate pain from the beam's path, which burned through tissue and bone. Yet he remained conscious and even walked to a hospital for treatment. The outcome was both sickening and fascinating. The beam's path caused localized tissue death, leading to the loss of hearing in one ear and partial facial paralysis. However, Bogorsky's intellectual capacity remained intact, and he continued his scientific career. This event was not merely a personal setback, but a cautionary tale that highlights the enormous energy and potential danger of particle accelerators. The risks of accelerators like the LHC are not to be taken lightly. The potential for unexpected responses is real. These are not science fiction, but a certified force under control. They aren't toys, but units of fundamental energy quite. It's possibly one of the most horrible and fascinating aspects of the LHC's tests. The LHC is associated with the possibility of creating miniature black holes. These are localized regions of space-time with such intense gravity that even light cannot escape, like cosmic vacuum cleaners, devourers of stars. Mysterious entities hiding in the shadows of our universe. The LHC could create such entities, even on a small scale, a notion that alarms both experts and egalitarians alike. Should this black hole grow uncontrollably, swallowing the Earth from within? However, experts at CERN have ensured that any black hole would be fleeting and vanish almost instantly. Yet this possibility has sparked debates, fears, and a sense of marvel at the power we wield, grasping the fundamental nature of the LHC's potential to create a black hole involves the essential mechanics of particle accelerators. When protons are smashed at nearly the speed of light, the power is a surprise to the fabric of space-time itself. Think of a trampoline stretched tight, with a massive weight dropped onto it. The surface warps and, if sufficient force is applied, could create a distortion so immense that anything nearby would be engulfed. This is a simplistic depiction of what could emerge in the LHC in the realm of quantum physics, where the rules of the universe are both strange and incredible. There exists a hypothesis that additional dimensions might be hidden within our reality. If these dimensions exist, the LHC's collisions could tap into them, creating a gravitational anomaly resembling a miniature black hole. This somber performance has received the attention of some incredibly famous experts. Notably, the late Stephen E. Hawking. In his book, he warned of an occurrence wherein the Higgs boson should wind up being extremely contradictory with excessive levels of energy in this doubt, should almost certainly result in an overpowering vacuum. A grandiose occasion that wouldn't just crush the Earth but the entire universe as a whole. The English cosmologist Sir Martin, an astrophysicist, received his own interests, typically the tests carried out at CERN. In his computerized book on what's to come, he opens entryways for mankind. He analyzed the potential risks related to atom smasher evaluations, which consolidate the individuals at CERN. And his words were not just a safety precaution, but reached with a vibe of existential pressure. He referred to the most desperate outcome possible when a poor evaluation should result in a circumstance known as vacuum flimsiness. This uncertainty ought to be, in a hypothesis, trigger a degree of progress that would reverberate throughout the real surface of space-time. The potential outcomes are enormous. A fiasco that would engulf the complete universe. Sir Martin's tendencies were not confined to speculative interactions. He committed an opportunity to those amazing effects, but nonetheless, even a small likelihood, he struggled, should give us a chance to stop and think and expect the stakes to be incomprehensibly high. And the edge for bungle is razor thin. The experts at CERN have chosen the potential threats connected with their tests cautiously. They have implemented diverse security protocols and prudent measures to mitigate risks, regardless of betting options. The possibility of thoughtful investigation naturally incorporates some degree of vulnerability, especially while plunging into new regions. The journey for data has perpetually been joined with an amount of chance that controls the entire process by which everything comes together. Regular jump advances have a habit of being accompanied by unexpected results. Anyway, it is unequivocally this capacity to stretch boundaries that has impelled humanity ahead. The LHC addresses the flawlessness over numerous extended periods of sensible progress and embodies the fervent interest of humanity in the universe. However, the expected risks posed against the LHC tests cannot be neglected. While the likelihood of terrible events may have a low impact on outcomes, it could be critical. Therefore, it is central for specialists, policymakers, and the overall public to partake in open trade about the moral and prosperity repercussions of such investigation. Taking everything into account, the Hadron Collider at CERN is a miracle of human genius and intelligent achievement. It offers phenomenal pieces of information into the universe's fundamental nature. However, with incredible power comes remarkable dedication, and it is essential to push toward this pivotal assessment with a feeling of exhaustion. As we continue opening the privileged insights of the universe, we should stay careful and mindful of the foreseeable dangers, ensuring that our data collection mission comes to our impairment in no way. Success and safety at the Hadron Collider at CERN stand as an affirmation of humanity's determined mission for data and appreciation of the universe. Its immense dimension and complexity represent centuries of sensible progress and joint exertion among nations. However, under its stirring facade lies a space of immense sensible demand, loaded with anticipated potential outcomes and ethical considerations. The fundamental goal of the collider, loosening up the privileged insights of material physics molecule, has led to notable exposure, despite the challenging Higgs boson. The uncommon energies made inside its entries, furthermore, raise stresses about the potential negative effects of such an attempt. While wide prosperity measures are set up to moderate risks, The possibility of destroying events like the development of small, dim openings or other unanticipated anomalies cannot be unconditionally pardoned. Accordingly, as specialists push the restrictions of our comprehension, it is fundamental they act with a significant familiarity with specific straightforwardness and presumptions, taking part in free trade with others, generally in policy. As we delve deeper into the Hadron's complexities, CERN's collider, and the logical initiatives it turns out address, make it more and more clear that the quest for information isn't without its dangers and weaknesses. The Hadron, with its unusual capabilities and potential for earth-shattering revelations, remains a demonstration of human inventiveness and the constant journey for understanding the universe's fundamental laws. However, beneath its sparkling exterior lies a domain of significant logical request, loaded with likely risks and moral contemplations. The analyzes directed within the limits of the TLC's enormous foundation use its resources and forces that are beyond perception for the majority of laypeople. The effect of subatomic, fast-moving particles produces conditions associated with those that existed in the earliest snapshots of the universe, allowing scientists to test the principle, building blocks of matter, and investigate the actual texture of space-time itself. But the enormous energies associated with these impacts likewise present huge dangers, both known and obscure. Quite possibly the most pressing concern surrounding the Hadron Collider's activity is the expected creation of minute dark openings, or other intriguing peculiarities that could result in unexpected outcomes. While fictitious calculations recommend any such dark openings would be brief and not pose a threat to Earth or its occupants, the possibility of haphazardly releasing powers beyond our control is, regardless, unsettling. In addition, the sheer magnitude and complexity of the investigations the colliders led require strict security protocols and strict control to reduce any dangers that could affect people everywhere. The group of scientists and researchers engaged with the activity of the collider is extremely conscious of the need to focus on well-being. What's more, they guarantee that all analyses are led with the highest level of care that can be achieved. Obligation and responsibility.